What it be like, ninjas? Daredevil Born Again just dropped and there are some highs and lows. Let's get into it. I don't want to spoil anything for those who haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds. I might drop some spoilers at the end. From the first scene, I was fearful. The tempo didn't feel right, and it appeared as though the magic was gone. The show is just too clean. It lacked the grain and the atmosphere the Netflix version had. Maybe it's the way it was lit, I got no idea. Maybe it's the fact that I only paid for the 720 resolution when I had Netflix. Whatever, it doesn't read as authentic. And for that, I have to take off a point. Another thing that hit me during the first action sequence was the use of the digital doubles. For that added punch, I'm not sure they got their money's worth. Where the Netflix series went the route of practical stunts, Disney got them deep pockets for special effects. But what gives with the fake smoke and poor levels of compositing? It stuck in my craw for a bit, but they got past it pretty quick, so I'll do the same. Born Again picks up sometime after the original series with the three main characters enjoying a night out. I assume you watched the trailer for the show and noticed the absence of Foggy Nelson from the footage. In the original story before the series revamp, both secondary characters were supposed to be off-screen during the lapse between Netflix and Disney storylines. Half of that changed. The loss of someone near to Matt's heart at the hands of Bullseye always seems to be the breaking point for the main character, and this story is no different. Matt crosses the line and lets vengeance take over. Being unable to reconcile that with his inner Catholic guilt, he gives up the mantle of defender of Hell's Kitchen and throws away the mask. That sets the stage for the series, where Matt has washed his hands of the past and the Kingpin attempts to escape his bloody history as a ruthless gangster by becoming the mayor of New York City. More of a lateral move, you know what I'm saying? If you're all about the action, let me break down a couple of points. It's still top-notch, and mostly in-camera action that doesn't shy away from blood and broken bones. I guess Disney learned that there are multiple audiences for Marvel content, and like Spiral, they've got enough hands to service them all. And thank God. I like a good quip here and there, but you know what's better? A dude getting judo flipped into a neck-breaking faceplant. Yeah, that's good too. D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox bring their A-game in every scene. Wallace, Karen, and the supporting cast are also holding it down in dramatic scenes. How do they make themselves cry on demand? I mean, I have the involuntary crying on lock, but doing it for the scene over and over again? But do you want to hear who I think really stands out? Michael Gandolfini. That's right, Tony Soprano's son that plays the enthusiastic knucklehead Daniel Blade. He's the lowest man on the totem pole in Wilson's entourage, repeatedly trying to catch the big man's eye by being the guy with his ear to the pulse of the political youths and his finger to the ground. Anyway, be careful what you wish for, kid. Moving on. Out of all the things you were expecting to see from this series, was Kingpin and couples therapy on your bingo card? It did bring a level of realness that I don't think that the Netflix series would have ever done. It comes as Vanessa and Kingpin are having trouble in their relationship, as he had been missing trying to rehabilitate himself physically after, I assume, what happened in Echo. I didn't watch that bullshit. Could the first two episodes have had a bit more oomph? Maybe. But what are the critics and eggheads always telling you? A fight scene without stakes, emotion, and story progression are worthless. And I don't want them to put some bullshit out just because we can't stand to see two people talking. Now for some spoilers. I love Foggy, and being the one cast member who most definitely won't be getting more paychecks is lame. Who will be Matt's moral compass? The guy who tells him, hey man, that was really fucked up. Is Father Paul coming back? He's still alive, right? I don't actually remember if they... Nah, they didn't. I'm sure you, like most people, were itching to tie up the loose end that was the final scene of the Netflix series. Well, Bullseye comes back long enough to toss Foggy in the fridge and get locked up. Hope it was worth it. It's like getting a pony for Christmas, then being handed the shotty and told, today's the day you become a man. don't make me, Papa. Not the sparkle sunshine. The fight up the levels of a New York City apartment building progresses about as fast as a game of 1984's Kung Fu Master, with equal repetition of moves. This time around, they sure do Tucker out pretty quick. When Disney said they were picking up with the cast after the real-world progression of time, they weren't bullshitting. These boys need some turmeric and some icy hot, cause they are missing a step. The BB Report is a social media channel the episode cuts to in between scenes. It's produced by the niece of Ben Urich, who goes simply by BB. I like the callback to a fallen character from the previous series, and I hope it's something the writers are setting up for a future payoff. She's an eager reporter who doesn't know how dangerous the Kingpin can be. She also doesn't know that he's a cold-blooded psychopath who strangled her uncle with his bare hands. Film at 11. Overall, I have high hopes for the series, and the internet is singing moderate praises. I give it a thumbs up. Trust in the shinobi and let them cook.